So for number 2, it says, which choice best describes the developmental pattern in the passage? And so this kind of looks like a organization question, but it's actually not, because there's not really, if you look at the answer choices, there's not really any development. It's just basically asking what best describes the passage. So this is actually more like a detail question. Detailed questions are more like questions that ask you to just recall some kind of information from the passage. So in this case, they're basically asking us, like, what is the plot? This is a narrative, so narratives always have plots. If you've seen this before, you kind of have something like this. That's what we call a plot curve. So you have your intro, your exposition, you have your rising, climax, falling, and then your resolution. So let's go ahead and look at the passage and try to get an understanding of the plot. So you should have kind of read most of this. So this first part, that's just introduction. So that's setting the setting. That's your intro. This is the rising action when Akira comes and approaches Chi. And then the climax kind of comes when Chi is really confused on what's happening. And this is kind of the climax. This is the rising. This part is the climax. Climax kind of goes up to here when Akira is asking Chi for her blessing in marrying Naomi. And this last part is the falling action, where it's kind of talking about what Naomi thinks of the proposal. Okay, so if you read, the general plot is Akira asks Chi for her blessing over a marriage. So let's go ahead and look at the answer choices and see what kind of describes that. So A careful analysis of a traditional practice. This isn't really an analytical piece. This is more a narrative. Also, the way that Akira asks is non-traditional. He kind of just showed up when you're supposed to go through a middleman. So it's not letter choice A. And letter choice B, it says a detailed description of a meaningful encounter. That sounds about right, because this is an encounter. It's a dialogue between the two. So I'm going to circle that for now. It's probably the right answer. But let's go ahead and look at the other answer choices to confirm. Letter choice C, a definitive response to a series of questions. There's not a series of questions being asked here. It's just one question, whether Chi will give her blessing or not. So it's not letter choice C. And D, a cheerful recounting of an amusing anecdote. There's nothing to signify that this is in the past, or somebody's like dwelling on the past or thinking about the past. So it's not letter choice D either. So we're going to stick with B, and that will be our answer.